Welcome all to NFL Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Happy Sunday, November 3rd to all of you. Let's go get that cash. Thank you to all that joined us for our horse racing shows over the last 2 days. Extremely enjoyable. Congratulations to Sierra Leone for winning the Breeders' Cup Classic. Great to see all the cappers in the chat. We got Truth Teller ready to rock. Dan Kelly says, if you saw the Browns game last week, then you know that Winston should have been picked 5 times. Best line I could find for Winston, yes. Exception today, minus 170. Says, hate to lay it, but I will. A Truth Teller on Kirk. Kirk interception minus 103. Torrey Coker, we got Justin McKelvey, stacks play today, Cowboys +3. Rod Zawacki giving us great angles. One here to bet against Dallas in away or neutral games versus good offensive teams, averaging over 5.65 yards per play. Dallas record since 2022 in that situation, 1-9 against the spread. Justin McKelvey, stacks play today, number 2. AJ Brown over 84.5 receiving yards. And also Rod Zawacki liking the under in the Mike McCarthy spot here in that Dallas game. Says the unders record under the total Mike McCarthy away or neutral games after playing their last game on the road, 12-0. Chip Plylar in the house. Torrey Coker on Giants first half money line. Lil Domo, Gerald Jones, NJ Stryker, Brad Oliver, T. Moss, Dust Hen, Lamont Williams, and Spenny Penny Bombs delivering his action here in the chat. Thank you, Spenny, my man. Let's go over some very important things here on today's show. First off, let's talk about who will be on the show. We have Bobano getting us started here in a couple minutes. Not backstage yet, but I assume he will be showing up here any second. Birdie, then number 2. Ramone, Scott, Marley, Betts, LJ from HTown, the Sweaty Butcher, JT, and picks from Dave making his season a debut here with us. Miles Johnson on Browns, Moneyline Ravens minus 8.5, and Spenny Penny Bombs also on this. Juan Dale Robinson over 37.5 receiving yards. We will discuss all of that. So we are locked and loaded there. Now, let's talk about my action here. I'm 2-0 to start the week, cashed with the Jets and cashed with the under 42 on Thursday night. So I have the Browns money line. Now you'll see Rams twice in my action, and it is because I wanted to move on the under in the Rams game, under 48.5, but I was so confident in the Rams that I didn't want the under to get in the way of me making money. I didn't want to lose a little bit of vig. I didn't want any of that. So I bet the Rams again. A Rams -1 at minus 116 when I decided to move on the under. I have the overs in Tampa Bay, KC on Monday night. There is going to be showers. It's not rain, but it's showers, and there's not wind, but probably not the perfect weather situation for an over. Ravens -9 at minus 111. Lions -3 at minus 112, and the Colts +5.5 at minus 107. Let's go over the most important injury issues we have on today's card. Puka Nacua, the bone bruise in practice. He's going to play today. He is okay. We have Lamar Jackson, didn't practice to start the week. He's good to go. No problem there. Jordan Love is also going to play despite leaving last week's game with a groin injury and being limited in practice all week. The Bills may not have Amari Cooper. He's dealing with an injury, a wrist injury. So let us know, please, in the chat if Amari Cooper is going to play. Give us the updates as we go through. T. Higgins for the Bengals, wide receiver, out for a second straight week. And running back Zach Moss is out with a neck injury. Browns cornerback Denzel Ward is expected to be cleared from concussion protocol in time to play today. That's a big deal for us Browns backers. Patriots quarterback Drake May has been cleared from concussion protocol and will start for the Patriots. Titans quarterback Mason Rudolph will get another start. Will Levis not able to return yet. There is a chance that these Titans will be without their top 2 running backs. Spears has already been ruled out, and Pollard hasn't practiced all week. If Pollard can't go, it's undrafted running back Julius Chestnut, who would be the Titans starter. Keep an eye on that. We need updates throughout the show. Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. out of concussion protocol. He will play. Saints quarterback Derek Carr will return to the lineup after missing 3 games with the oblique injury. Panthers rookie second-round pick, the highest running back drafted in the 24 draft, will be making his debut. Practiced in full every day this week, coming back from that torn ACL suffered while playing for Texas. Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey is expected to return to the lineup. He missed last week's loss to the Browns, and it was clear that he was unavailable. Speaking of clear that he was unavailable, Jaquan Brisker still in concussion protocol. He will not be in the Bears lineup today. Another key piece to that defense. And then DK Metcalf out again this week. And the Vikings will have tight end TJ Hawkinson making his season debut. Benny saying Pollard is supposed to play. That would make sense here. We have a Winston over 247 passing for Lamont Williams. Cheshire Cat in the house. Great to see you. It is time to go here and rock. Presidential-minded Kings, Falcons, Packers, Moneyline Parlay. Let's bring on our first guest. He's our Season 2 champion, and he is being white hot here on the show. Currently ranked third out of 28 cappers on our show, 33 and 24 plus 5.53 units. His last 3 performances with us, week 4, week 6, and week 8, he is combined to go 23 and 10, up over 11 units. Stay hot. Our next guest must stay hot. We need him to stay hot. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow, our friend, Mr. Ian Cameron, to the show. Ian, how are you?
I'm great. Of course I'm great, because the NFL's here. It's another Sunday of NFL action. 4 out of the last 5 weeks for me personally have been profitable. And the 4 weeks haven't just been profitable as in a little bit. They've been huge weeks. And of course, some of them have been right here on this show. So let's see if we can keep it rolling, my friend.
Let's do exactly that. Great to see you, Linda. Thank you for joining us. We got Nasty Nate. We got Slatsy. We got Kirk Gray. We're ready to roll. Jermaine in the house. So let's roll. Chargers 4-3, 2-2 on the road at the Cleveland Browns, 2-6, 1-3 at home. Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland, Ohio. 62 Fahrenheit, sunny, 11-mile-per-hour winds. Let's go through the line history, the cash flow, the injuries, and hand it over. We have the Browns plus 1.5 at minus 105. They opened up plus 2.5. This was a plus 1 for a while yesterday. A half-point move towards the Chargers happened about 20 minutes ago. When we get to the total here in this one, I had it up already. Sorry. We have a 42. This made no sense to me. I was almost going to move on it early in the week, but it was skyrocketing. This got all the way up to 44 from a 39.5. I just couldn't understand it. Now it's at 42. It's going down. There's 42.5s available. Very, very perplexing why this would have skyrocketed the way it is. Now, I've heard trends and angles as to why it was, but still, from a Nexus No standpoint, it didn't make sense. 43% of the tickets, 41% of the cash on the Chargers, 76% of the tickets, and 65% of cash on the over. Chargers cornerback Christian Fulton hamstring is out. He is out. Now, Joey Bosa is expected to play. So is DJ Shark, making his season debut with the groin injury, and linebacker Denzel Perryman expected to play. As we know for the Browns, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is out with that neck injury. It was very scary last week. Jordan Hicks also out. That hurts, but thank God Denzel Ward may come to the rescue and clear concussion protocol in time to play today. Take it away for us, Bobano. Chargers, Browns.
I think we're a heads up on this one, Jimmy. I know Cleveland got their big win last week against Baltimore. I love that spot right here on this show. We had Browns team total. Rally around Winston. Maybe it happens again, but I'm not loving the Browns here this week. A big divisional win like that. I don't think they're the better of these two teams. I don't think they have the better of these two coaches either. When you're talking about Stefanski versus Jim Harbaugh. And I like the way the Chargers are getting healthier. And I've actually, what really pushed me in the direction of taking the charge, I just think we're getting a little bit of a better football team here to pick them. With all due respect, what the Browns did last week, I think the Chargers have more upside. They're getting healthier. Herbert's playing better and better and better each week. His performance last week against the Saints was great. Jim Harbaugh, you know what his record is? 49ers and Chargers head coach combined in the NFL in early start games. And remember, these were both West Coast teams he coached. 49ers back in the day, Chargers now. 7-1 against the spread in these 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern games. So he's been very good getting his team ready. Whatever the routine has been, it's worked. He's done very well in these spots. I like the Chargers here at we'll go money line in this spot. The injuries concern me. I thought they were going to have Ward out as well, Cleveland, and that would have been really problematic against this Chargers team. But at least it looks like they're going to have him. But Owusu-Koramoah is a big deal. Outstanding linebacker, can play the run, can play the pass. They're definitely going to miss him. I like the Chargers here, minus 118 at DraftKings. Looks like the best available price at the current time. And I'm also on this over. I agree with the push up because I think the Browns are an over team with Winston. I do. They're an under team with Watson because he was a stiff quarterback that couldn't do anything. But I think with Winston at quarterback, they're pushing the ball down the field more. We saw it last week against Baltimore. I mean, it definitely, I loved it at 40. I bet this early I was one of the many, Jimmy, that bet this early in the week. with a feeding frenzy on here. So it has moved a little bit, but I'm going to get in on it still at over 42 minus 114.
Over 42 at minus, what was that, minus 119?
Yeah, over 42 minus 114. Yep.
Oh, 114. Yep. Thank you. Okay, you are locked and loaded, and Chargers money line minus 118. A lot of Chargers backers in the chat, a couple Browns backers as well, and we know Troy is with me on the Browns. Let's roll. Yes, Miles Johnson, but he practiced all week. We haven't had that confirmed. It's just expected that he's going to make his season debut. So we do need some confirmations on a couple of these injury situations. And this is a little bit different with him coming back from the torn ACL. Let's roll on the next spot on the board for Bobano. New Orleans Saints 2-6, 1-3 on the road. The Carolina Panthers 1-7, 0-3 at home. Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina, 66 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 8 miles per hour. Marshawn Lattimore still out for the Saints, and so is Bub Means at wide receiver. Jamal Williams as well, doubtful to play. But Nick Saldiveri, offensive lineman, looks like he will play. So will Nefi Sewell, a very important linebacker. And Shane Lemieux, who can play at center and guard, will play, it looks like, at this point. And Derek Carr, of course, will be in the lineup. Adam Thielen is not coming back to help out the Panthers. That's what we had expected and hoped for. We also have Jaden Crumedy, defensive tackle, doubtful. So is safety Jordan Fuller. So a lot of injury issues here. And then the question is about Jonathan Brooks. Will Jonathan Brooks play? Nate Dogg is on the over 43.5 in this one. Let's get into the line history here. We have right now the Saints sitting at -7 juiced. Now there is a 7.5 at plus 103. This was a 5.5. Of course, the news that Carr will be at quarterback has moved this line. From a total standpoint, we have the Saints Panthers game at 43.5. It's slightly juiced to the over. It opened up at 44.5. It's dropped 1 point to 43.5. And when we get to the cash flow, we have 72% of the tickets and 53% of cash on the over. And on the spread, we have 68% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on the New Orleans Saints. Take it away for us here, Bobano, game 2 on your card.
So in every game this year, this horrible, worst defense in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers, has given up at least 26 points in every game except the Raiders, in a game where the Raiders were off a huge upset win against the Ravens. It was a brutal spot for them, and that was the one game Carolina kept an opponent below 26 points. I'm not really going to go into more detail. I've been on this show for weeks betting the opponent team total over with Carolina, and that's what I'm doing here. New Orleans, team total over 25.5, minus 116. I don't need them to score 47 like they did in week 1 against Carolina, but give me 26. I think they do it.
Next up for Bobano, Dolphins, Bills. Dolphins 2-5, 1-2 on the road. Bills 6-2, 3-0 at home. We're at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Nutflush saying that he sent. Sorry, I was just very tight with time, especially with the marathon horse racing that we did yesterday. I haven't checked that out, but I will. Nutflush, my man. So Nutflush is also
we're all
on
grinding. It's November. What do you expect? I got to spend part of my Sunday night football handicapping over 100 college basketball games. So there you go. Yeah.
Yes, and we will be the benefit of your hard work in college basketball this year here at Pub Sports Radio. 54 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour at Orchard Park, New York. Tyreek Hill, good to go. So is tackle Teron Armstead. Extremely important news there. Still without Zach Sealer, a defensive tackle with the eye injury. For the Bills, it's all about Amari Cooper. Is Amari Cooper going to play? Because Curtis Samuel's questionable with the pectoral. Amari Cooper with the wrist injury. There's not depth at wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. So very, very important news here. Let's get into the line history. This side, Bills right now, -6 at minus 106. This opened up at 6.5, and it was there all week. This didn't move till 6 here until this morning. So interesting. Maybe that is the Amari Cooper news. And then on the total here, we have a 49. This opened up at 48, and it started climbing quickly. It got up to 48.5, got up to 49, got up to 50, got up to 50.5. 50.5 was the high watermark until it started dropping at 49, but we still have a 1-point move to the over, and it is juiced towards the over. When we get to the cash flow here for this one, 28% of the tickets and 30% of the cash on the Dolphins on the spread, and on the total, we have 74% of the tickets and 89% cash on the over. Bobano, take it away.
Yeah, the over for me here. I do lean Bills. I have a small Bills bet, but because I think they're just playing so great, and I don't buy Miami beating them. But I don't know if I love the spot for the Bills to make it official because they are coming back from the West Coast, a dominant blowout win against Seattle. Miami's got this game quadruple circled because of all the hell Buffalo's put them through, and they haven't been able to beat this team. Tua is back. This is the team that knocked him out with that injury in week 2. And look, I loved what I saw from the Dolphins offense. That's why another reason why I'm not laying the points for an official play here, because, look, they looked solid. Tua looked good. Hill and Waddle became involved again, which is good to see. But the defense, what happened to them? They could not stop Kyler Murray in Arizona. I'm not sure they're going to be slowing down the Bills. Now, the Bills could be a blow without Cooper. And the reason why it's a blow, it's not so much you miss his reception and production. It's because him being on the field opens things up for everyone else, Coleman and Shakir and all the other receivers. But bottom line is, I think the offenses both have a good showing here. And keep in mind, the Bills scored 31 points in that first meeting, and they took their foot off the gas pedal the whole second half because there was no Tua in that game. And they could have kept scoring on that Miami defense. They were had success there. They should have success here. But I think Miami can trade points in this game as well. So for me, Jimmy, Dolphins, Bills, over 49, minus 112.
You are locked and loaded. Next up for Bobano, Cowboys, Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted the under. This was so high, such a high number. And then we find out that Micah Parsons is not returning to the lineup, which was very important. Deron Bland not going to be in the lineup. Defensive tackle Jordan Phillips not in the lineup. And then they're saying, oh, it's fine because Trayvon Diggs is going to play with the tear in his calf muscle. I mean, how is that going to give you any peace? Now, we know
I don't always love his game when he doesn't have a tear in his calf muscle.
It's a wild thing. And we know from Justin McKelvey, our guy Justin Blitzer, Bobby in the house. Great to see you, man. A member of Pub Sports Radio for 24 months. Justin McKelvey, an Atlanta fan through and through. He's on the Cowboys today. Zach Martin, guard, is supposed to play. So is Eric Kendricks, will be very important for the Falcons. Troy Anderson, now listed as questionable. That is a change. I thought he was going to be out, but safety Justin Simmons is playing. He is back from his hamstring injury. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have a 3. Now, if you want this 3, it's juice to the Falcons. If you want the 3.5, of course, it's juice to the Cowboys. You can get that plus 3.5 at minus 114. This did open at 3, so there has been a move towards the Falcons. When we get to the total in this one, we have this right now sitting at 52, juice to the under. Wow. So this is being just all over the place. This was 53. I couldn't understand it. Even when it moved down to 51.5, I was like, oh, okay, I missed it. And then it came back up to 52.5. So now we're at 52, juice to the under. Very high total, but two teams that have, weak defenses. From the cash flow standpoint here, we have, give me a second here. We have 67% of the tickets and 81% of cash on the over. And on the spread, 61% of tickets, 65% of cash on the Cowboys. Bobano, take it away.
Yeah, JPZ, I get what I deserve. It was a great week last week, but the Dallas Cowboys was not one of them against San Francisco last week. So I'll be damned if I'm betting on them again. But I'm not laying points with the Falcons. I mean, their defense is problematic right now. And here's the issue in this matchup. They throw the ball. That's the way they move the ball, Dallas. Throw the ball. You got to get pass rush on Dak. And if you do that, because they can't run worth a lick, Dallas, you're going to be able to have success. But you talk about one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons have it. They get zero pressure, zero on the opposing quarterback. That's probably why Dak is set up to have maybe one of his better days, throwing the ball here to CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, and company down the field. Should be able to have some success. This has been a regret. It's getting worse, it seems to me, this Atlanta defense. But again, how's Dallas slowing down Kirk Cousins in the dome here? That's the question you got to ask yourself. This Dallas defense played a good first half, and then they disappeared in the second half against San Francisco. It's a high total, but to me, it's high for a reason. I'm on over 51, minus 115.
Over 51 at minus.
I love it.
Over 51
minus 115. Yeah,
at minus 115, over 51 flat, minus 115. All right, we roll on. Next up for Bobano, Denver Broncos, Baltimore Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. These Broncos 5-3, 3-1 on the road. Same with the Ravens, 5-3, 2-1 though. at home. The Broncos are a healthy group. Defensive back PJ Lockout with the thumb injury. Delaire and Turner Yell, safety out with a knee injury. But other than that, very healthy. Big news for the Ravens is that Marlon Humphrey is expected to return to the lineup. He practiced limited, but he practiced all day this week. And they need him. We saw what this defense. This is already a bad secondary. It's a bad secondary. They allow a ton of yards, 32nd in the league, allowing the most yards in the NFL. And now you could see without Marlon Humphrey, they're even worse. Let's get into the line history here for this one. This total is at 46.5. It is juiced to the over. It's just been climbing. It opened up at 44, and now we have a 46.5. So climbing. On the side, we have Baltimore -9 at -105. I'm on the -9. This was a 9.5. This was a 10 as well. This opened up at 9.5, immediately went to 10, and then came down to 8. I mean, it's just been all over the place, this line history. Up to 10, back down to 9. I'm on them at 9. And it might be a mistake, but I just keep thinking about what they did to Buffalo in a similar situation. They just smashed and grabbed a really quality opponent. Let's get to the cash flow here. We have Ravens 50% of the tickets, but just 39% of the cash. So bigger bets are coming in on the Broncos. On the total, 78% of tickets and 82% of cash on the over. Bobano, take it away.
There's another one. I think we're up against each other on this one. I'm on the Denver Broncos here on the road with the plus the points. I actually like their team total here over 16.5. It's way too juiced, though. I got it, I think, on Friday, and it was -130. It's like -160 now. So the juice has really climbed on that. So I'm not going to make the team total official, but 16.5, especially if you get it below that key number of 17. I do like that Denver team total. So I'll just go with the point spread here at plus 9.5, -110. The best price out there, points bet right now with that.
Sorry, can you give me that again? I was just Brian Robinson is out.
Yeah, that's a big deal for Washington.
And it kind of just took. Sorry, can you hit me with this one again, my man?
Yeah, Denver plus 9.5, -110. And really, this is, to me, I know Baltimore's off the loss. You would expect Baltimore to have vim and vigor, intensity, focus, no doubt, coming off a loss like that. But here's the issue. Their secondary's bad already. They lose Marlon Humphrey. Bo Nix is coming off a couple of really good passing games in a row, getting better as far as that's concerned. And to me, the Ravens, I go back to that long-term trend of Lamar and this Ravens team as a favorite of a touchdown or more. They've been absolutely hideous in this role. 2-11 against the spread in their last 13 tries, laying a touchdown or more. That's a significant enough, and this is over 4 years. So this is a significant enough sample size where whether it's they don't respect, an inferior foe, whatever the case may be, they don't play their best when they're expected to dominate, especially of late. So the Broncos keep improving. I know it was Tampa. Tampa's not Baltimore, but Denver did go on the road earlier this year in a spot similar to this, and they took out Tampa Bay, won wire to wire. Obviously, I don't think they're winning wire to wire, but I think this is competitive, even if they're down 14 late in the game. Secondary is a problem for Baltimore. Could easily get that backdoor touchdown to cover the number. So Denver plus 9.5, and also the over. I do like this over. We've been on the Ravens overs every week on this show. We're on it once again here. Denver, Baltimore over 46 -120.
You are locked and loaded. 2 games left for Bobano, and then we are joined by Birdie. LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington, 52 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour. This is my first double-up spot of the season. It's hard to believe that I haven't doubled up on anything. And the reason why I did was because I wanted the under 2, and I just did not want that to get in the way of the bag. So I bet again the Rams. So just to ensure if the Rams are right and I'm wrong about the total, that I still profit on this football game. Joe Noteboom out for the Rams. I thought he was going to be in the lineup. Puka Nacua will be there for the Rams, which is important. DK Metcalf out. Noah Fant out. Abraham Lucas, offensive tackle, out for the Seahawks. Defensive tackle Cameron Young out. And we don't know if Ernest Jones is going to play. He was a late addition to the lineup, to the injury report on Friday. So very, very important off-ball linebacking defender. May not be there. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the Rams right now -1 at -106. These Rams opened up at +1.5, moved to -1. And, I would prefer if they were -2, honestly. But it looks like the market's going a little bit back into Seattle's direction, which I don't like to see. And when we get into the total here for this one, we have a 48 flat. It's a pick 'em here. I did get in on the 48.5. This did go down to 47.5 at one point a few days ago. Climbed back up, but still it's gone down a half point, which I can work with. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. We have 68% of the tickets and 71% of cash on the over, and on the spread, 67% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the Rams. Take it away, Bobano.
Yeah, we're in agreement here. We're on the same side. I like the Rams here. What I like about the Rams here is that Thursday game. I wanted to see what this team was made of. They lose that game to the Vikings. Season probably maybe over. Thinking about trading certain veterans on this team, but they rally. They have a great win against Minnesota, and now all of a sudden, they can think, hey, we're in this division race. We can make the playoffs. And now the mindset is totally different now for the LA Rams moving forward. And I think that was a galvanizing effort. You see the difference that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua being back at the receiving core makes for this team. And I don't love the idea of a prideful team off a blowout home loss last week to Buffalo, and now betting against them in a spot like this. Oftentimes we'll see solid teams bounce back, but I just think the Rams are better, flat out, especially now that they have their two best receivers back. The play in the trenches was terrible for Seattle last week. The offensive line was miserable. There was zero pass rush on Josh Allen last week, and that's problematic because Stafford has shown he can still pick you apart if you're not going to get after him. So I think it's a Rams build. I think the Rams maybe have a run in them here down the stretch. Coming out of that Minnesota game, and I think keeping this core intact. McVay has had pretty good success in his career against Seattle as well in this division battle. So Rams minus 114 money line.
Rams minus 114 for Bobano. Final spot on the board for our guy Ian Cameron. Colts, Vikings, US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, Bernard Raymond, the tackle, not coming back from the concussion, and Kwity Paye questionable with the hamstring injury. We need Kwity Paye out there, but the Vikings still don't have Blake Cashman, and we've watched with turf toe affecting him. We've watched this defense suffer without him. He's a hell of a linebacker. Dalton Risner is supposed to be back. The guard is supposed to be back. So is Caleb Evans, the cornerback. Let's get into the line history here for this one. On the spread, we have the Colts at a flat 5. Now, that 5 is with no vig. It's come down from 6, though. So, I would prefer to see that 5 at minus 110 or something like that. But, it is what it is. From the total here, we have this total sitting at 47, slightly juiced to the over. This is our Sunday night live stream game right here on Pub Sports Radio. We've had a 1.5 move towards the over. And when we get to the cash flow for our Sunday nighter, we have 69% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the Minnesota Vikings. And yet this line is moving away from them. And on the total, we have 83% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the over. Bobano, take it away, Sunday nighter.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite sides. Probably is my favorite side this week. Indianapolis +6. We got that at minus 118 right now. And I also like this game to go over the total as well. And I'm actually pretty high on this total as well. It's at over. Let me just make sure I get the right number here. Over 40, over 46.5, minus 120 with that over. Joe Flacco, man. And now the reports are surfacing the last 24 hours that the players really rallied to get Joe Flacco as the starter, and get Anthony Richardson sent to the bench. But I expect them to rally around it. He's played well. Now, is he going to make the odd mistake? Yes, but there's no doubt he's moved this team. I've watched a lot of Flacco play at quarterback for the Colts this year. They have moved the football pretty consistently when he's been the starting quarterback. And this Minnesota defense, I've said it now the last couple shows, little smoke and mirrors, in my opinion. It's nice to have a great pass rush when you're leading big every week. Well, they haven't the last 2 weeks against the Lions and Rams, and suddenly there's no pass rush. Suddenly they're getting carved in the secondary. And I think Joe Flacco is good enough to be able to do that here in this game. I think Minnesota can score. I know Buckner being back really helps the Colts defense, but I think Minnesota can still get their points back home. The Colts defense will still give up some, so that's why I like over 46.5. But I like the Colts here. Minnesota, remember, this is shades of 2 years ago, that red-hot undefeated run. Then they started to regress, and they started to hit a cold streak, and they started to just be a point spread disaster. I'm not saying it's going to be quite like 2 years ago, but it's starting to look like that. I think this is a live underdog. Colts and over for me.
Colts +6 at -118. The over
And we'll
46.
do what I did last week, Jimmy. We'll tack on one more bet, even though we're not talking this game in depth. I see a +8 with Las Vegas. I have to take it against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has no business laying 8 right now. That's how bad they are. Raiders showed me some fight last week against Kansas City. They tried in that game. So give me Las Vegas +8, -110 against Cincinnati.
Raiders +8 at -110. Colts +6 at -118, and the over 46 and a half at -120. Rams -114. Broncos +9.5, and the over 46 in Denver, Baltimore. The over 51 in Dallas, Atlanta. The over 49 in Miami, Buffalo. Saints team total over 25.5 in Saints, Panthers. The over 42 in Chargers, Browns, and the Chargers money line for Bobano on a giant 23-10 run, up over 11 units in his last 3 appearances here on the show. Currently ranked 3rd out of 28 cappers. Bobano, thank you. The star of the Ice Guys, the star of hitting the books, and the star of the OG NBA show. Thank you for your time. Please support our guy Bobano. Follow him on X at Bobano Bets. Bobano, any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
I actually forgot a total in that Rams Seahawks game. I'm on over 47, Jimmy, -120. Over 47, -120 with Rams and Seahawks. So there we go. That's it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate it very much. Hit the like button. Jimmy, I appreciate always being on with you Sunday. Let's have another big Sunday to you, to everyone watching the show. Let's have a big Sunday and enjoy the games, and good luck, everybody.
There he is, Bobano, currently ranked 3rd. Our next guest was last year's champion here on NFL Pub Hub, back in the top 5 where he belongs, 5th ranked out of 28 here on our show, plus 3.76 units, a very high average line. Which I don't have here listed. I could pull up, but 19 and 23, yet up 3.76 units. And when I look at his records here on the show week to week, it's a feast or famine type situation for our next guest. He either has a huge positive day, or it's the other way around. A fun capper to rock with. Please welcome from Kingston, Ontario, our friend Birdie to the show. Birdie, how are you, my man?
I'm rolling, Jimmy. It was a great couple of days. Thanks to you and everybody that was on camera. That was just such a blast. It's just a bonus when the account gets full of cash.
Yeah, no,
I was glorious. I'm not gonna lie.
I was glad to see you getting paid in full, my friend. It was fun to watch. Let's get right to work, Birdie. We start with Washington Commanders at the New York Giants, MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. We just heard that Brian Robinson Jr. with the hamstring injury is not going to play, not in the lineup. We also just heard from Nuke Worker that Amari Cooper for the Bills game is not going to play. Thank you for that information, Nuki. Israel Williams, my friend Israel, thank you for being a member of Pub Sports Radio. Israel's had my back since I was down in Costa Rica doing this every day with our friend Pistol Pete Loshak. Thank you, Israel, my man. Let's go. MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, 55 Fahrenheit, sunny, 5 miles per hour. And these are pretty healthy teams, other than, of course, Robinson being out. Tyrone Tracy Jr. is out of concussion protocol, so he will be there. And Matt Hack will stand in for Gillen as the punter here. Let's get into the line history for this one. We have these New York Giants right now +4 at -109. They were +3.5. They've moved to 4. Actually, there's been a couple cent move towards Washington, so they're actually +4 at -107 at this time. And on the total, Birdie, we have this at 44 -115 to the over. This opened up at 43. It climbed a point to 44. And when we get to the cash flow, we have the 76% of tickets and 76% of cash on the over, and on the spread, 83% of the tickets, but just 75% of cash on the Commanders. Take it away, Birdie.
Yeah, for me, this is all about the spot. This year couldn't have gone any better for the Washington Commanders. And they're legit. They're legit heading in the right direction. They're definitely a team that's going to continue to be good, and they're just going to continue to ascend. And I still think they're live for this division. But for me, it's just this spot. Everything has gone just glorious for them up to last week, and then you get that Hail Mary to win the game. And I mean, we're all human. At some point you're like, this is it. This is our year. Things just can't go wrong for us. And I think we're kind of in this spot for Washington. I know this is a divisional game, but they've already beaten the Giants, and they beat the Giants. They should have beaten the Giants pretty handily that first game. I mean, they kicked 7 field goals, so they had no problem moving the ball on offense in that game. I'm going to attack this spot because I think it's a letdown spot for this young Washington team and this young Washington quarterback. It's not a slight against this quarterback. I love this quarterback, but it's tough, man. It's tough when you have that much success and you win a game the way they won to follow that up the next week, especially against an opponent you're probably at this point feeling you're much better than. So I'm going to take the Giants here with the points, and I'm going to take the Giants money line as well. It's just something that I like here. I mean, it's a hold your nose and pray that the Giants can come through, and the Washington does have a letdown, but I think this is very similar to that Carolina Raider game that we attacked there earlier in the year. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And I should say I've been capping Breeders' Cup since Tuesday, so my NFL has taken a step back this week. So tail at will, and I see some lad in there saying he's going to fade me, so it's probably a good week to do that.
I find that impossible to believe. Birdie +4 -107. The money line here at +176. I will line shop and see if we can get better than that, but that's where you start back on the Giants on the spread and the Giants money line. Next up for you is Colts Vikings, US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We just talked about this spot with Bobano, and you are in a different direction. So take it away, Colts Vikings.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with going against you and Babano on this, that's for sure. But listen, for me, when Minnesota went out and got Robinson, I mean, they invested into this year. So there's no are they invested? Aren't they invested? They're invested. They already had no draft picks or minimal draft picks coming into this draft, and they gave up probably a 4th rounder to get this deal done. They're in win now mode, and they should be. They have a really, really good team, especially on offense. And now they're getting back Reisner, the guard, this week, and they're getting back Hawkinson. So when we get to like week 9, week 10, week 11, I'm always looking for, is there a spark in a game that can happen for a team, especially good teams, when they may be playing a team that is maybe not in that top echelon of teams, especially with Flacco coming in at quarterback. I think everybody's excited about that for Indy. But for me, getting Hawkinson back and addressing that left tackle injury and bringing in a really, really good left tackle, and then getting your guard back, making an offensive line that was like really good with Derishaw 2 weeks ago. Now, arguably, you can say this offensive line may be better with Reisner coming back. And then you bring in Hawkinson. So I really like the spot for Minnesota today. I think Minnesota's a team that everyone expected to suck because Sam Darnold was there, and then gets off good, and everybody loves Minnesota, and they get off to a great start and have a couple of mediocre games against really good teams. And now everyone's dead set against Minnesota, and they're going to be on the decline again. I think 5.5 against this Colts defense is a gift. So I'll take Minnesota here.
You do have options: -5, -110, -5.5, -104, -6 at +105.
What's the 5?
The 5 is -110.
The 5 is one. Yeah, sure. I'll take the 5 at 110.
-5 at -110 for Birdie on the Minnesota Vikings. We move on to Birdie's next spot. So now he swept the board the last time he was with us on his 3-team 7-point teasers at +130. He's got one game that is the core of this. So one game is in both teasers, and we will talk about the anchor here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Kansas City Chiefs. These Buccaneers 4-4, 2-1 on the road. Chiefs 7-0, 3-0 at home. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. 64 Fahrenheit showers, 7-mile-per-hour winds. Juju Smith-Schuster is out for the Chiefs, and Mahomes does trust Juju, so it's a loss. Michael Dana out with the pectoral injury. Drew Tranquil, linebacker, out with the chest injury. So there are some injuries. Nazee Johnson, safety, out with a concussion. but the Buccaneers are just beaten up. And the big issue right now, of course, Godwin and Evans out. But the big issue is both Tyke Smith and Antoine Winfield are questionable. They're two safeties. This secondary is not being good. If both of these safeties are out, it's a big trouble spot. So this is the anchor. We're after Birdie, you talk about the anchor. You can finish off the other spots on your 2 7-point teasers. This is our Monday nighter. Right now, the Chiefs are -8.5 and -111. So this open -8.5, -107. So just 4 cents of movement towards the Chiefs. On the total here, we have it at 47. Oh, sorry, not 47. My bad. We have it at 46 -108 to the over. This opened up at 44.5. And then when we get to the cash flow for the Monday nighter, we have 50% of the tickets, but 60% of the cash on the Buccaneers. And on the total, we have just 13% of the tickets and just 3% of the cash on the under. I'm on the over, but I'm very nervous about every cent being bet on the over. Take it away here, Birdie, your final spot on the board. 2 7-point teasers, or sorry, yeah, 3-team 7-point teasers at +130, and this is the anchor. Take it away.
Yeah, my second one, Jimmy. So I've got 2 teams the same. It shouldn't read Broncos. It should read Ravens. That was my fault. So I've got the Ravens and the Chiefs in both.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the Chiefs here, I like the Chiefs to win this game. You all know my thoughts when they play in non-division games. So I'll just take them down to the 2.5. Not much to say here, really. I think it's somewhat self-explanatory as far as being able to take them down under a field goal. And similar in the Ravens game, they do have Bengals next week, and kind of seeing what's been going on with Lamar this week. And I just heard that Johnson's taken a lot of snaps with the ones this week. So I think they're probably, given what Steelers are doing in that division, kind of probably believe that game next week against Cincy's probably pretty big for Baltimore. So I'm happy getting them down to 2.5, because I don't think early in the week I was all over in the shows that I kind of sit in the podcast on, was all over the Ravens. But I'm kind of hesitant now as far as that number at 9.5, because I honestly, it just seems like they're making sure they're healthy for next week. So I'll take them down to 2.5. And then in the first 7-game parlay, sorry, I was pretty happy yesterday when I sent this, so that's why the mistakes. In the first parlay with the Ravens and the Chiefs, so Ravens 2.5, Chiefs 2. I'm taking the Bears up to 8. And then in the second one, I'm taking the Browns up to 8.
Ravens -2.5, Chiefs -2. The anchors on both. Then you have Bears +8-1 and Browns +8 in the.
I'm going to add a play too, Jimmy. I'm going to add the under in the Lions Green Bay game. I just think the weather, and there looks like there's going to be some wind in that game as well. So I'm going to jump on the under there as well. And Mike Nutflush put a beautiful play in the chat earlier about Minnesota first quarter. Highly recommend everybody tailing that. I know I will be. Thanks, Nut.
Under 48 at -109 available for you right now. Locked and loaded, Green Bay, Detroit, under 48 -109. We are going to get to talk about that game throughout today's show. 7-point teasers, both at +130. We just went over them. Then he's got Vikings -5 at -110, and the Giants +4 at -107, and the Giants money line at +176. Please support our friend Birdie on X at Birdie_bets. Currently ranked 5th out of 28 cappers here on the show, +3.76 units over 42 bets. Thank you so much for rocking with us, Birdie, my man. Any last words for the cappers supporting the show?
Let's get that cash.
There he is. It never ceases to make me laugh. Birdie in the house. We move on to our next guest. Our next guest making his 3rd appearance here on NFL Pub Hub. Currently ranked 9th out of 28 cappers, 4-3 +0.71 units. He is the star of the Morning Steam Show, 7 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on the Sports Money YouTube channel. Please welcome our friend Ramone Scott to the telecast. Ramone, how are you, my man?
Hey, Jimmy, glad I could make it. I missed the time change, so I wasn't sure what time it was.
It was very helpful after the late night, huge heavy day of horse racing action and the night before as well. But let's get right to work, Ramone, my friend. You start with Chargers Browns. I agree with this look completely. And but the market flying up, from 39.5 all the way up to 44 just scared me so much that I just stayed off. And then hearing your action, maybe I get back on. Take it away for us here. Chargers, Browns, we've already set the game up. How you getting paid?
Yeah, I'm going to come on and talk about my Chargers here and kind of, I don't know, I'm not calling it a victory lap or anything. There's a long way to go, and we played a weak schedule, but I did come on the first week and said we'd be, the Chargers would be an improved lot this year. And have they ever been, especially defensively, right? You're not going to find any team with a lower scoring defense, a better defense here right now, averaging just allowing 13 plus points per game right now. Outstanding numbers. Now, I wish I knew about Joey Bosa before coming on here, but we're just going to have to wait and see here. I maybe got those inactives here, and I may have just missed it here in the last few minutes. But nonetheless, Chargers have been doing it, even if he has missed some time as well. The Browns obviously had a huge performance. We know the move here, Jimmy, is the quote-unquote upgrade to Jameis. And hey, look, we all love Jameis when he gets cooking and, some of the other theatrics as well. Great. But we still have to see it on the field. We know Jameis has limitations here and going up, too, against the Chargers team where they've got to establish the run with Chubb, but that's the Chargers' strength. I've got him certainly as a top 5, if not even a little bit stronger here. This Chargers run defense coming in. They've gone under in 6 of their 7 games here now, 6 of their last 7. Cleveland's gone under in 5 of their last 7. I've got to see it at this point, Jimmy, as far as the Browns' improvement on offense. I think they'll have slow going here with Chubb, and that concerns me. Chargers certainly got to try to get it on track on offense with Herbert and crew. Maybe these wide receivers are a little bit of a no-name crew here at this point. They're getting healthy this week. I'm a big McConkey guy, but still, he's not necessarily that deep threat here. So, look, Herbert gives them still one of the best quarterbacks in the game. It's just a matter of getting these receivers up to speed. I believe Harbaugh will get it done eventually, but right now the Chargers, Jimmy, are going to have to rely on this defense. Maybe a surprising defense given these numbers. I will say that the numbers are, squelched here a little bit because of the soft schedule. But we're playing the Cleveland Browns here today, Jimmy. I'm going under here at 42.
The 42 is plus 101, the 42.5 minus 107, the 43 minus 115. What would you prefer?
Yeah, we'll go. I think we'll keep it at 42, a little bit of plus money here with this one, Jim.
You are locked and loaded. Chargers Browns under 42 at plus 101. Then we move on to Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. We heard Bobano add this to his card at the very end of his set, but we haven't set this one up for you. Raiders 2-6, 1-3 on the road. Bengals 3-5, 0-4 at Paycor Stadium. Beautiful weather, 68 Fahrenheit, sunny, 7 miles per hour. And Zamir White going to be back in full participant in practice. Max Crosby not even on the injury report. So some good things happening there. Now, will Robert Spillane be in the lineup? Will Dylan Parham be in the lineup? So Spillane, the linebacker, Parham, the guard. That still needs to be mentioned. I don't know what's going on at that point. For the Bengals, T. Higgins out. Zach Moss out. So Chase Brown is going to be getting run. Geno Stone did not practice Friday. Is the safety going to be out for the Bengals? So not a great injury report from them. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow. From a total perspective here in this one, we have a 45. It's minus 107 to the over. This opened up at 44.5, and it got all the way up to 47.5. And it was there for a while. Now it's coming down. We see a 45 here. On the spread, as Bobano talked about, he does not believe that the Bengals should be an 8-point favorite against anybody in this league at home, especially where they're 0-4. Minus 8 and minus 105 available right now. This was minus 8 and minus 110 10 minutes ago. So there has been a slight move towards the Raiders at this number. You could have got them at plus 100, and now they're at minus 104. And when we get to the cash flow, we have 26% of tickets, 27% of cash on the Raiders, 76% of tickets, 82% of cash on the over. Take it away for us, Ramone. Raiders, Bengals.
Yeah, and Antonio Pierce, he likes to rub elbows with some of these casino guys, Jimmy. That's why he kicks field goals when the obvious choice is to go for it. He wants to stay within the number. Maybe that'll help him keep his job. I heard what Bobano was saying. I respect what he's saying there a little bit, but I don't think the Bengals are absolutely locked down right now. I mean, got Uncle Rico in there a little bit. Look, the Bengals to me end up giving it up on the back end, right? They should be fine here to win this game, I would think, against the Raiders, allowing 26 points per game so far this season. I know no T. Higgins. Maybe that is the move on the total there a little bit, back down from the 47. Jamar Chase has an absolutely terrific matchup here. He should be probably put up maybe the biggest numbers of the day. To me, it feels like here in this one. And Chase Brown, Chase is what matters, I guess, in this one for the Bengals. I got Chase Brown here in a pretty good position to keep the running game going too. I think the Bengals can put up a big number. They're no great shakes either on defense, allowing 25.5 points per game. They've gone over in 3 of their 4 games at home. So, yeah, maybe Minshew gives them a little bit more of a passing threat here for the Raiders. Not great as far as maybe efficiency or, big strike ability, but they're going to be throwing here, it feels like, especially if they are trailing here. We know the Bengals have had their own issues kind of getting on track here right now this season. So I think the defenses actually just aren't very good. And the Raiders, I don't know, they find a way to get the money in some of these sometimes in some bizarre ways. So 45 does seem high, but I want to go over in this one right now, even with the Bengals missing a key cog there in Higgins. I want to take over, Jimmy, here with the Raiders and the Bengals. I think we're looking at 2 teams that just aren't great at all defensively. I know the Raiders, Pierce's reputation is, hey, we've got a little bit of a defense, but time and time again, they get beat on those big plays. So I'm going to go over 45 with the Raiders and the Bengals.
Over 45 is minus 106. Over 45 minus 106 here for Raiders Bengals. Next up for us, the final spot here on Ramone's card is the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2-6, 0-4 on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles. 5-2, 2-1 at home at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 56 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 5 miles an hour. The Jags are banged up. We don't know if Etienne and Bigsby are going to be in. They're both limited. They're game time decisions. We expect them, at least one of them, to be in there. And also, Dearness Johnson will be the man if that is the case, if these guys are out. So we need to wait on that. Christian Kirk out with the collarbone injury. Offensive lineman Ezra Cleveland out with the ankle injury. This is a team that's beat up. Now, Brandon Scherf on the offensive line, we expect him to be in. We expect safety Andrew Wingard to play. We expect wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. to play. But there are issues here. For the Eagles, it's Dallas Goedert and Darius Slay who are out. So Isaiah Rodgers will be starting in place of Darius Slay. And Mekhi Becton has been cleared from concussion protocol and will start this week. But when I think of Mekhi Becton, I think of him walking through the tunnel away from the football game. That's all. I don't ever think of him. I always have this image of Becton walking through the tunnel while the game is going on. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Eagles, Jags. From a side perspective, Philadelphia is minus 7.5 at even money. They opened up at 7. It's moved to 7.5, but it's a plus 100 no vig situation if you want them with the hook. And then when we get to the total here, we have this right now sitting at 45.5, slightly juiced to the over. This has come down from 48. So we've had a big drop in this total now, just at 45.5. And that 45.5 is actually juiced. There was just a move 5 minutes ago, 4-cent move towards the over from minus 110 to minus 114. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, we have, give me a second here. Let's just get this Eagles. Here we go. 79% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on the Eagles on the spread, 83% of tickets, 82% of cash on the over. Ramone, Scott, take it away. Your final spot on the board, Jags, Eagles.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a positive injury report that we might see when these are released here with key offensive players, ATN and Bigsby and Brian Thomas as well. So I don't think we've seen it quite yet, but I expect these guys to be in. I'm going to end up on the over here. Say what you will about Jacksonville and all their woes. They're still putting up some points, finding a way to put up points, sometimes often in garbage time here. They've gone over in 5 of their last 6, still averaging 21 points per game for this poor record. You look at all the bad teams, they're still the team that still puts up a few points for whatever we want to say really about Trevor Banks Stadium a little bit. He's still getting it done. He's got, if he does have those guys, ATN, Tank, also Evan Ingram also is, a great target, no doubt. He definitely has chemistry with Ingram. He's healthy and in there. So I do expect Jacksonville to be able to, put up some points here on the back end. I think Philly is in position to win this game. They're averaging 24.5 points a game, and Jacksonville allowing 28. I mentioned they're scoring 21. They're still bad. We know they're allowing 28 points per game. So should be a great matchup here for Hurts, for Barkley, for Brown, for Devontae. And I would think the Eagles will also reach their team total. I just have this one. You mentioned 45.5. That sounds terrific, actually. Thought we were going to be dealing with a little bit of a bigger number. So give me the over here. And I got those guys in. I think they'll make contributions here with Bigsby and ATN today. So give me the over with Jacksonville and Philly here in this one. Obviously, Philly, the momentum is pretty strong here at this point for any woes they had a couple of weeks ago, Jimmy. It looks like it's almost all systems go here now for the Eagles. I feel pretty good about what they're doing. They still got work to do, but to think about right now, them starting to put up some wins again, it's got to feel good for those guys. I'll take over 45.5, Jacksonville and Philly.
Over 45.5 minus 114. I did move on the Eagles to win the NFC at plus 600 this week. I could have had it at plus 900 a week ago. I didn't, unfortunately, but I have them now at plus 600, which I will still handle. Our guy, Ramone Scott, Jags, Eagles over 45.5, Raiders, Bengals over 45, and Chargers, Browns under 42. You can catch Ramone 7 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on the Morning Steam Show on the Sports Money YouTube channel. Ramone, thank you for your time, my friend. Any last words for our cappers supporting the show, my guy?
Good luck to everybody today. Let's have a great Sunday. And hey, Jimmy, what are you going to do this week? College basketball starts tomorrow, so it's going to be a great week of sports betting. Thanks a lot, brother.
There he is, our guy, Ramone Scott, coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is time to bring on your next guest. We brought him on to our show last year. He was a revelation. He was second overall out of 29 cappers last year. And what has changed this year? Nothing. He is second, 20-9 plus 10.31 units. So we are now at a point where he has done 18 shows with us. His worst ever performance was 1 and 2. That was his worst ever, just a little over a unit. He, on our show this year, has been on 6 times. His worst show was 1 and 2, down 1.14 units. His other 5 shows were all plus money, plus units, cashing situations. In his last 2 shows with us, he's 8 and 2 plus 5.97 units. In his last 3 shows with us, he is 12 and 4 plus 7.5 units. This guy does nothing but win, and he does it on the Raw Words podcast. He does it on Brothers and Bets, and he does it right here, and he asks for nothing in return. He just wants us to get paid in full. What a phenomenal capper. Please welcome the star of Brothers and Bets, our friend Marley, to the show. Marley, looks like we've lost.
What's going on?
Okay, I'm not sure. Let's pull you out here and see. Maybe do a refresh. Let's get a quick refresh here for Marley. He is frozen there backstage, so he's going to get a quick refresh here, and we'll get Marley back in business. Now, you know who we do have backstage is number 1, our best capper in this year's NFL Pub Hub. Maybe we could get him, but let's give Marley and our number 1 capper is up next, and they are together on the Raw Words podcast. What phenomenal years they put together. But our guy is ready to go, so let's bring him on right now. Marley Betts, star Brothers and Bets in the house. Marley, how are you?
Yo, what's good? HTown.
Marley, I just last. I mean, I brag about you nonstop, and then you come in and go 5-1 plus 3.94 units. I mean, it's just uncanny. Your skill level in football, and he's also a youth football coach. Helping his community. You do it all, Marley, when it comes to the gridiron.
Homecoming was yesterday, man. We undefeated. My first undefeated season going into the play.
Congratulations, man. Richly deserved. Let's get right to work. We've set this game up already. Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Falcons, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Take it away.
Jimmy, I don't know if you remember, but when the Ravens played the Cowboys, I texted you halftime. I was like, bro, the Cowboys are sorry. Like, we gotta fade them. We just gotta fade them and get money. Nothing has changed since then. Faded them against the 49ers. Atlanta defense scares me a little bit, so we're gonna go with the over here. I got it at 51. I still take it at 52. I think Bobano said this earlier. They can't get any pressure. So if you're just gonna allow Dak to stand back there and throw the ball, which is the only thing they can do is throw the ball. Then they'll get down in a half and wound up with 25, 20, 24, 27 points. But they gave up 30. So I like Atlanta's offense here. And more so, if you look at Atlanta's last totals of their last 5 games, 31-26, 34-14, 38-20, 36-30 in OT. Other than the Seattle game, the offense has been humming. Kirk Cousins, Bijan Robertson, Drake London. There we go. I was gonna say London Keys. Drake London. So I'm all over here. As long as Dallas offensive line can hold up, which, like I said, the Falcons pass rush has been terrible. So I like an overplay here. What is it? You got 52.
Yes, we can get you the over 52 here. I'm going to line chop because it's minus 115 where I'm looking right now. I'd like to get that VIG down for you. So I will line chop for you on the over 52. Again, this was bet by Marley at 51.5. So we will see if we can get that VIG down. Let's move on to the next spot for you, Marley. It is Broncos, Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland. We've already set this one up, so take it away.
Yeah, you kind of talked about this too, man. I think this is one of those games, kind of like that Bills game where the Ravens just blast the Broncos. And yes, the Broncos are sitting at 5-3. It looks pretty. The defense is ranked. I don't know who I heard talking about this game earlier. Yeah, 3rd in points allowed, 5th in passing, 10th in rushing. But who has they played? That's the thing. They've played Carolina. They've played the Saints. I think other than the Bucks, they haven't played a quarterback that an offense, not let alone a quarterback, an offense that even scares anybody. And then yes, the Ravens are ranked dead last in secondary, right? That's our biggest concern. Humphreys may be out. But do we think Bo Nix in the Baltimore Broncos offense, they don't push the ball downfield? It's not like, who are we scared of offensively? I'm not scared of Bo Nix. He has to show me personally. Yeah, he can show you against the Saints and the Panthers and whoever else they play. No one is significance that they've played. I think that the Ravens come in here and I'm going to take the 9. I know it's a huge line here, but I think Lamar, he took some days off. He got rested. They have the number 1 scoring offense. They're averaging 30 points a game. They're not only doing it on the ground with Henry, number 1 rushing attack. Lamar and them in the passing game is ranked 6th in passing yards. So he's still throwing the ball. I like the Ravens here. I'm also on the over. I think Herb Bobano said this earlier. The team total for the Broncos is about 16. And we know the Ravens can't really close sometimes, majority of the times. So I can see the Broncos getting that team total. I wouldn't take it because, like he said, it's juice, but I can see them hitting it. So if we can get, 32-16, I think that puts us over the total.
So Ravens minus 8.5 and minus 107 to get you started. And then we have the over. Right now, that over is a 46.5 at minus 110. Also, I did find a 51.5 half minus 110. I did find a 51.5 on that total.
Cowboys.
Yeah, so we get you over 51.5 minus 108. You're locked in there, and you're locked in with Broncos, Ravens. Move on to the next spot on the board. LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington. We've already set this one up. DK Metcalf out. Ernest Jones might be as well. You know, it was a nice pickup for them, the off-ball defending linebacker. Note Boom not back, but Puka Nacua will play. Take it away, Rams, Seahawks.
Yeah, I just think the Rams are the better team here, Jimmy. Give me the Rams, especially with Puka playing and Cooper Kupp. We saw what the offense did. Was that last week against Minnesota? Mm-hmm. And I've said this all week. Yeah, Seattle's passing offense, it looks good, but they're not producing the points. They're slanging the ball all over through the air, but when they get in the red zone, they're not scoring. They can't really run the ball. And you take away DK Metcalf off that offense, I don't think it's quite the same. And to me, Geno's just the average quarterback, man. And I feel like he lets you down sometimes. I remember we were on live and he already threw a pick, and Spuddy was like, I'm going to take him to throw another pick. And everybody agreed, like he's going to do it. And what did he do? Throw another pick. So I just think the Rams are just a better team with the better coach. McDaniels, the defense hasn't come over from Baltimore yet. And I think Stafford is just going to carve them up at the end of the day. And I didn't even mention the running back, Kerryon Williams. I think Kerryon Williams. So they're running the ball, and Stafford. I just think overall they are the better team. And after that Minnesota win, the division is right up for grabs. I think they're going to win the division personally. So I'm all over the Rams here.
And Williams has touchdowns in 10 straight football games for the Rams. Yeah. Kyron.
I
know it's Kyron because every time I write it, it gets changed as Karen. I always have to go back and turn it to Kyron. You are logged in. This is nerve-wracking. Now, chosen one on Seattle, truth teller on Seattle, saying the world's on the Rams. This is moving back towards the Seahawks. So you can get the money line right now at minus 110, which is making me nervous because this is my first double up of the season. And I'm with Gerald Jones. I'm using this in the Cappers contest. Let's move on to the final spot on the board for our guy Marley. And it is a game we haven't talked about yet. Detroit Lions, 6-1, 3-0 on the road at the Green Bay Packers, 6-2, 3-1 at home at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 52 Fahrenheit and rain. And as Birdie mentioned, not just rain, but 15-mile-per-hour winds here as well. So we have for the Packers, Jair Alexander questionable, but Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs will be playing. Jacobs with the ankle injury, Jordan Love with the groin injury, but center Josh Myers will not be there. He's doubtful with a wrist injury. Chosen one on the Lions. I'm on the Lions. I am nervous about this one as well here. This total for this one is now it's been dropping. It's now at 48. It is weather-related drop, but it's actually climbing again. Interesting. So this was 47.5 at 7 this morning. So an interesting climb up to 48, slightly juiced to the over. And then on the spread, we have the Lions now minus 2.5, minus 110. Makes me nervous. Actually, 2.5 minus 108. God, I don't like it at all. And then when we get to the cash flow, we have 65% of the tickets, 56% of cash on the Detroit Lions, 86% of tickets, 90% of cash on the over. Take it away for us, Marley. Lions, Packers.
All right. Hey, Lamont, I see your question real quick. I'm not a prop guy. I would say yes, but like I'm not a prop guy, brother. But I would say yes. Seattle defense is not that particularly not pretty good. But anyway, let's jump on this. I like the under here, Jimmy. I don't know how healthy Jordan Love particularly is. Groin, what he had, an ankle before the groin, I believe. So his lower body, I don't know, and I'm scared of that. Not only that, Jacobs is a little banged up. We're going to get rain, and also the thing that keeps me off the lines a little bit, Jimmy, is Jared Goff outside, man. You know, small hands in the rain, might be cold, but I think that's the only thing that can stop this offense is the weather. I mean, third in points scored, they're averaging 30, third in passing, fourth in rushing, Montgomery, Gibbs, Williams, Laporta, St. Brown. I mean, he has weapons on every side of his offense, including behind him. I don't think the Packers defense can necessarily stop them, but I think the weather can slow them down. Both defenses are technically middle of the road. The Packers are a little bit better. but the Lions just can't stop the pass. They're not bad at stopping the run. They just can't stop the pass. But like you said, we're gonna have some rain. It's gonna be some wind. So I like the under 48 here. Divisional game on top of that. Both of these teams know each other. I don't think we're gonna get the shootout. I'm just Jordan Love kind of. I'm not sure if he's gonna finish the game for us. That's another issue too. He's been knocked out of 2 games, I think, this season already. So I think he's just kind of gutting it out right now, and it's a groin, man. It's almost like a hamstring. You just like, though, I don't know. I'm scared of that. So I lean Lions, but put me on the under 48. I'm gonna ride with the weather. Under
48, we can get you minus 104. We can't get you the hook, but it's going to cost 11 cents. Under 48.5 minus 115. Which one would you prefer?
I'll take 48. Let's go.
Under 48 minus 104. I like it. I like it. It makes so much sense to me. I think I might join you on it. Might be my last edition. There's nothing else that I'm really close to moving on other than that one. We have our guy Marley locked in. Under 48 minus 104 in Detroit, Green Bay. Rams money line minus 110. Ravens minus 8.5 minus 107, and the over 46.5 in Denver, Baltimore. Over 51.5 in Dallas, Atlanta. Again, 8-2 the last 2 weeks he's joined us. Plus 5.97 units. 20-9 on our show. Plus 10.31 units. What an incredible performance. Week after week after week after week in his second season, delivering the goods to us on Sundays on NFL Pub Hub. Please support Brothers in Bets, and the Raw Words podcast as your partner in that is coming on next. And he's the only one out of 28 cappers to be ahead of you so far this year at NFL Pub Hub. I know you will. I know you will. I know you will.
Spot, Jimmy.
No, I know you will, and you deserve it, and you fought hard. But LJ's running hot right now, man. He's running so hot. Thank you for your time. Before you go, please let everybody know a little bit about what's going on Brothers and Bets and where they can catch it and what shows are going on and what time it's on.
Yeah, man. Catch it.
Oh, we lost your mute. We lost you. Just we just lost your audio there. Okay, we've lost the audio. We'll figure that out. I don't know why. Let me see if we can fix it.
My
here.
bad.
Oh, Sarah, I screwed that up there. Okay, wait, here. I was trying to fix it. There we go. Now let's hear it.
I can throw it out. Yeah, man, catch me on Wednesdays. Y'all catch me right here at Brothers. That's how you spell it. At Brothers in Bets. You can follow me at Marley_Bets. Like Jimmy said, I do the Raw Words sports podcast with the homie LJ from Houston. And college basketball about to start. So we're about to jump that off too. That's about it.
Respect. There is our guy Marley in the house. Please support him at Marley_Bets. And of course, Brothers and Bets, the Raw Words podcast. His partner in the Raw Words podcast, currently ranked number 1 here on NFL Pub Hub. We talked about how great Marley's been in the last 2 weeks. Well, our guy LJ is 13-4 over his last 2 shows with us. Up 9.4 units. That's what he is doing, delivering the goods. 23-12 plus 11.51 units. He's eating. Please welcome from Houston, Texas, our guy LJ from HTown.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Dabby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Connor Mack.
LJ, my man, you are running hot, and I love to see it. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. You know what it is. Sunday morning NFL football. Time to get some money. Let's hope I can keep this winning streak going and stay on top of the NFL Pub Hub standings.
You have done 5 shows with us this year. Your worst performance, 3-3, down 0.04 units. That's what you have done. You've been delivering week in and week out. We start with Commanders, New York Giants, MetLife Stadium. We've already set this one up, LJ, so tell us how you're getting paid.
Yes, sir, Jimmy. We already know about the Giants at home. Everybody knows the trend. Going back to 2020, they are 19-0-1 to the under at home at 6-point dogs. And also at home, 31-12-2 to the under since Daniel Jones has been the starting quarterback. Now, I don't like the fact that Brian Robinson was out today. I was really hoping he was in the lineup because you can run on the New York Giants defense. The last two running backs, Barkley averaged 176. Najee had 114. They're giving up 165 yards on the ground in their last 4 games, Jimmy. So I'm going to, revert to Jalen Daniels. Let's go with his over 49.5 rushing yards. I got it at minus 118. He's had 50 plus his last 2 games. He's hit this number 3 out of the last 4 games. And I just believe he's going to be able to run on the Giants, especially if the pass rush is coming. We already know Jalen likes to, get his reads first. He's not a run-first quarterback, but if he needs to run, he's going to run. And I believe he will cash that running prop just to get a first down here or there. And I'm going to add the Austin Seabird over 1.5 field goals, Jimmy. He's hit these field goals 6 out of his last 7 games. He made 7 the last game versus the Giants. And the Giants give up field goals because they don't really give up a lot of passing touchdowns. So the Giants' defense is okay for us in the passing, but running, you can eat them up on the run game. And, of course, you put me on the under, Jimmy, 44.5, simply because the under trend at the Giants I just cannot ignore just because it's been cashing ever since 2020. So those are my 3 plays in this game.
The Giants have scored 1 touchdown in 4 home games so far this season. Let's lock in for you. So the Jaden Daniels over 49.5 rush yards is minus 118.
Yes.
What was Seabird over 1.5 field goals?
Minus 150. But also, you can put it down as a parlay to get it at plus 198. You could just parlay them both together. Plus 198 parlay.
Okay, but you want minus 150 here for Seabird.
I mean, yeah, you could put it down since I've already bet it, so.
Okay, locked in. And then we have the under 44 and a half here. So under 44 and a half minus 109 right now. You are locked and loaded. LJ, currently our leader in NFL Pub Hub. We move on to the next spot on the board. Haven't been talked about yet. 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bears 4-3, 0-3 on the road at the Arizona Cardinals. 4-4, 2-2 at home at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Jaquan Brisker not coming out of concussion protocol. Not good. Also, Montez Sweat, a game-time decision. Tevin Jenkins dealing with a knee injury. It's really bothering him. He's barely practicing. We think he's going to play. Another lineman, Larry Borum, with an ankle injury, but we think he is going to play. Another lineman with Braxton Jones with a knee injury. We expect him to play at this point. So for the Cardinals, they're a pretty healthy group. Now, at this point, Jonah Williams is out on the offensive line, but Kelvin Beachum does not have a designation. So it's, at least Kelvin Beachum will be in. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow for these Cardinals Bears spot. This total's at 44.5. It's juiced to the over. So overall, it's only moved 3 cents from 44.5 minus 107 opener to 44.5 minus 110 right now. And then on the side here, we have the Bears right now +2 at minus 110. The Bears opened up +1 and then it's now +2. It just moved. Sorry, it's 3 minutes ago. There's been a move. It's now minus 115. So +2 at minus 115. And then when we get to the cash flow for the Bears spot, we have here we go. 66% of the ticket, 73% of the cash on the Bears, 80% of the ticket, 65% cash on the over. LJ from HTown, take it away. Your next game on the board.
Yes, sir, Jimmy. I want to take advantage of the Cardinals' weak defense going up against a Bears offense that has to be seething after that upset Hail Mary that they lost on last week. So I know that they're trying to come into this game and get that memory erased out of their mind for the fans that seen that last week. So I'm going to take advantage of the Bears. I'm on the +2, Jimmy. I believe they win the game. I'm also going to be on the under 45 and I got 45, but you can get 44.5. You give me whatever number you can get, best number for the under, just because the Bears have held 13 straight opponents under 21 under points, and 8 out of their last 9 games have gone under as well. And the Cardinals have to prove to me that they can win 3 in a row, because they just won 2 in a row last week going back to 2021. Now I'm expecting them to win 3 in a row versus a good defense with the Bears that's only allowing 14 points in the last 3 games. So they have to show me. So prove it to me, Arizona, that y'all can come in here and win a big game, win 3 in a row. Not to mention, Jimmy, what number you can find me for the Cardinals team total under 21.5, simply because they have to prove to me that they could put up 22 points on the Bears, who've held their last 13 points to 21 or less. So those will be my plays in this game. Oh, I have a prop as well. I'm sorry, I didn't want to mention this. DeAndre Swift, over 66.5 rushing yards, minus 114, simply because the Cardinals give up 151 rushing yards their last 4 games, and they've allowed 5 running backs to hit this number. Cook hit it, Montgomery, Mason, Achane. 5 out of the last 6 running backs have hit this number, 66.5. And I'm also going to add his touchdown plus the Bears to win at plus 209. Like I said, I believe the Bears are going to rely heavily on the run game, wear down the Cardinals' rush defense, and I believe they can win the game just because I think coming off that Hail Mary last weekend, they're going to want to get in the winning column and prove to this NFC that they're going to be viable in this NFC.
Let's review all action here. You're hammering this game. Bears +2 at minus 108. Under 45 at minus 111. Do you like this number? Because I can line shot. Cardinals team total under 22.5 at minus 102.
Yes, I can do that.
Swift over 66.5 rush yards at minus 114. Swift touchdown. Bears to win at plus 209 for LJ. LJ's last spot on the board's already being set up, so we just need to hear how he's getting paid. LA Rams, Seattle Seahawks, Lumen Field, Seattle Washington. Take it away.
Yes, sir. I'm on the Rams, Jimmy. Money line, -1, whatever you want to do it. I'm all on the Rams. I just think Seattle's defense is just horrendous right now. You're giving up 30 points in the last 4 games, over 400 yards, 180 yards on the ground. Not to mention, they can't even run the ball, only averaging 72 rush yards in the last 4 games. So if you can't run the ball or stop the run, that is an automatic fade in the NFL. The Rams are coming off 2 games straight off their bye winning, and they're also 14-5 against the spread in their last 19 games versus the division. So I believe the Rams are going to come in here and win on the road as a road favorite, simply because the road favorites since week 5, Jimmy, are 18-5-1 against the spread. So I'm on the Rams. Also, I'm on Kyren Williams. Rushing yards, over 91.5. I got it at minus 118. And I'm going to ladder it up to 102 at plus 120. And I'm going to take the touchdown plus the win at plus 127. Just because we already mentioned he's had it in 10 straight games. And Seattle has allowed the last 4 running backs to get this number of 91.5. And the last 3 out of the 4 running backs have had 100+ yards on this Seattle's defense. So those are my plays in this game, Jimmy.
Let's review them here. Rams money line minus 110. Kyren Williams, what was the first number before the 102?
91.5 rush yards.
At what juice?
Minus 118.
Minus 118. And then the over 102 was at what juice?
Plus 120.
Plus 120. And then we have Rams and Williams together, and that was plus 127.
Yes, sir.
You are locked.
I got a parlay, Jimmy. I want to throw this out there. I got a 3 receiver touchdown parlay for everybody today to cash on. First up, we have CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys. Anytime touchdown. He's had 11-2, which is 11 out of his last 13 games versus the NFC. He's had a touchdown pass. So CeeDee Lamb, we have Amon St. Brown. 10 out of his 12 road games. He has had a touchdown. And this is a division game, so we already know he loves to act up in division games. Last but not least, Justin Jefferson tonight, Sunday Night Football, anytime touchdown. 3 home games so far he's played. He had a touchdown in all 3 of those games. And that gives you a plus 575, 3 receiver, anytime touchdown parlay for us to cash today. And those is all my action on this Sunday football, Jimmy.
Love it. I love it. Let's go back here with so we have Lamb anytime touchdown. Who is the second one before Jefferson?
Amon St. Brown.
St. Brown anytime touchdown. And what does that all come together at?
Plus 575.
Ooh-wee. a banger for LJ. Lamb, Brown, Jefferson, anytime touchdowns together. Parlay plus 575. Rams, money line, Kyron Williams over 91.5 and over 102. And Rams to win and Williams touchdown plus 127. That's what I did wrong here. Sorry, sorry, I'm tripping. I put this Ram spot under. Sorry, I was tripping out. Let me just cut this here. I was wondering what the hell I was doing and put it here, right beside Rams. Okay, here we go. And then the SGP. So I still sweating out booze from the weekend of horse racing. Cut this here, and there we go. Okay, beautiful. Okay, locked and loaded. So then the other two spots that LJ was on, our current leader in NFL PubHub, Bears +2, the under 45, Cardinals team total under 22.5, Swift over 66.5 rush yards, and Swift touchdown. Bears win at +209. Jaden Daniels over 49.5 rush yards, Seabird over 1.5 field goals, and the under 44.5 at -109. Old E says LJ such a legend. I love it. Here it is. LJ from HTown, currently ranked number 1 out of 28 cappers here, 23-12 plus 11.51 units. Last week he went 9-3 plus 6.67 units. 5 weeks he's rocked with us. His very worst performance, 3-3, down 0.04 units. What a monster. What a season. We love to see it, LJ. Tell us about the Raw Words podcast. I retweeted the video out today, but tell us a little bit about it and where we can find it.
Yes, sir. Raw Words podcast on Fridays. Me and Marley Betts go through the schedule. We'll be doing week 10 next Friday. We put out our best bets, go through the slate, give our analysis on all the games. And of course, on Sunday mornings, as y'all saw this morning, I put out my best prop bets that I like for today. Y'all can go right now, subscribe LJ from Houston or Raw Words podcast on YouTube right now. Go follow. You also always on Twitter at LJ Sports Media, or X is now it's called. Also, all on YouTube, Top Tier Handicapping. We put out free plays every week. Go follow us on YouTube and also all the streaming platforms that I have. And of course, I will be joining you on Sunday night, Jimmy. Monday nights tomorrow. You're doing Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will
Sunday
be on
night and Monday night, but I'm taking Jose's running tonight because I've been on the sauce.
Okay. I will be with you tomorrow night for the Chiefs and Bucks game. So there we go, Jimmy. And of course, everybody keep cashing. Shout out to the chat. Everybody supporting. And like I always say, guys, let's keep cashing.
There he is, LJ from HTown in the house. We move on to our next guest. This season, he has made his debut with us in NFL PubHub. He's been a big part of our chat and a big part of our community, and he's now making his debut with us. Both times he has rocked with us, he's won. Currently 5-3 plus 2.27 units, which ranks him 7th out of 28 cappers. Please welcome. We got Callie in the house, our friend, the Sweaty Butcher. Sweaty Butcher, what's good, man? How are you?
What's up, guys? What's up, Jimmy? I'm doing good, man. How you guys doing?
We're ready to rock, man. We're ready to rock. And we got not only from our guy, those of you who run with our guy, Sweaty Butcher, we don't just have the surf and turf parlay. We also have the prime cut as well. So let's get started here. You have a total and then the beginning of the surf and turf parlay. So don't give them the second half of the surf and turf. We'll do that in the next game. But give them the beginning of the surf and turf and your move on the total. Washington Commanders, New York Giants, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Take it away, my man.
All right. I'll keep it short here because LJ covered most of it on my under. I'm under 44.5 in this game. I'm sorry, let me look at my notes here.
No worries.
Giants, like LJ said, I don't know what it was, 19-0-2 onto the under. I know the last 5 home dog games, they're onto the under. Their offense is pretty weak. Defense is pretty strong. I feel like the run game's still going to be there on both sides. Should work the clock a little bit, and I could see a real low-scoring game here. So big on the trends with the Giants, and I like the under spot here all day.
Under 44.5 at -109. Now you have the first half of the surf and turf parlay. The surf and turf parlay comes out to +240. The first half of it is in this game, a player prop. Take it away.
Right. Yeah, so I'm looking at Zach Ertz over receptions. I got him at 3.5. He's been the second option here on this team, and it's just been progressing, it seems like, over the last few games. So I like that here. I think he gets probably 6 to 7 receptions, but over 3.5 seemed like a really good spot, and he's cashed that, I think, 4 or 5 out of the 7 games. So that's the first piece that we got going on here. Zach Ertz over 3.5 receptions.
That's the first half of the Surf and Turf. So Washington, New York Giants under 44.5 straight bet. And the first half of the Surf and Turf is Zach Ertz over 3.5 receptions. We roll on to our next spot on the board. We have the prime cut, and then we roll into the second half of the Surf and Turf. So take it away here. Lions, Packers. Start with the prime cut and then finish off the Surf and Turf.
All right. So you guys were scaring me a little bit about this. No, not really. I'm pretty confident still. Lions have more than enough weapons to overcome weather, wind, whatever it is. They got ground game. They got it in the air. I just see them running points up like they have been in the last few weeks. They've been a monster on the field. So I took the Detroit Lions team total over. I got it at 25.5. I could see 27 to 30 points here easily. Gibbs probably has a couple touchdowns. Montgomery probably has one. St. Brown probably has one. That's 28 points right there. So that's my prime cut of the day, and it will be a big fat steak at the end of the night. Trust me.
And this market has gone against you. So the prime cut Lions team total over 25.5 right now is at plus 116. Plus 116 available right now for the prime cut. Now finish off the Surf and Turf. It's with a Detroit Lion running back prop. Take it away.
All right. So the second half of the Surf and Turf, we are looking at the ground game. We're looking at Detroit Lions, as I mentioned earlier, and it's Jahmyr Gibbs over 66 yards or over 65.5 yards rushing. He's gone over this number every game except for one. He's getting touches. The weather plays in their factor today for a ground game a little bit. I think we see a lot of Montgomery. I think we see a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs. 66. This guy could break that shit off in one go. But I really like that here, so I tied that in with the Zach Ertz, and we're getting plus 240 for the Surf and Turf today.
Ertz over 3.5 receptions, Gibbs over 65.5 rush yards, Surf and Turf at plus 240. You close up your card here on our show with the Rams, Seahawks, Lumen Field, and Seattle, Washington. Take it away.
Yeah, well, you guys have already pretty much said it all. And if we're all on it, how can it lose, right? How can it fucking lose, Jimmy? We're all on it. So let's go Rams money line. I took the -2 last night or yesterday sometime. But I'll take the money line today too. So yeah, the Rams, I mean, they're 8-2, last 10 in the division against the spread. They're in a good spot right here. I think they're rolling. They didn't trade off the deadline like everyone thought they were gonna do. They got everyone back now. Man, they're rolling. I think this is a good spot for them to make another step up in that division. And I like it. Seattle's 3-7 the last 10 against the division, against the spread. No Metcalf, no run game. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the Seahawks would get it done here today. So I'm all over the Rams.
Rams money line -110. Lions team total over 25.5 plus 116. That's the prime cut. Surf and Turf is Zach Ertz over 3.5 receptions, Gibbs over 65.5 rush yards, and then we have Washington, New York Giants under 44.5 at -109. Sweaty Butcher has not ever had a losing show here with us. This is his third appearance. He's 5-3 plus 2.27 units, good for 7th out of 28 cappers. Sweaty Butcher, thank you so much for your time. Please support our guy at Sweaty Butcher. At the Sweaty, it's just Sweaty Butcher. There's no the. So
yeah,
Sweaty Butcher on X. Please support our guy. Thank you for rocking with us, my man. Any last words for the Capper Sporting Show?
Yeah. Can I add one more?
Of course.
I'm gonna jump on that under with Ramone. The Chargers and Browns under. I seen some stuff earlier today when I was looking about them. They're like two of the worst teams of getting first downs on the season, and tailing along with what Ramon said about it, I think it's a really good spot for the under here.
can get you an under 42.5 right now. Under 42.5 at minus 109. You are locked
like
and
that.
loaded, my friend. Any last
like
words for Peppers supporting the show, my
Well,
guy?
let's go get that cash, guys. Everybody, let's get on it. And like I said, if we all bet the Rams, they can't fucking lose.
I hope that's the case, man. There he is, the Sweaty Butcher in the house. We roll on, but we stay in California for our next guest. He has joined us twice, just like the Sweaty Butcher. Just like Sweaty Butcher, come to us from Cali. He's 4-2 plus 1.63 units, so he's one spot behind the Sweaty Butcher and 8th out of 28 cappers here on the show. Please welcome our guy JT in the house. JT, what's good, man? How are you?
What's going on, Jimmy? How you doing, man? I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, man. And not to mention all of the winners you've been giving us on our live streams. Good God, are you being a monster on those live streams as well? But here we go. If you guys are looking for player props, you've come to the right place. We start with Cowboys, Falcons. Your first player prop. Take it away.
Make it quick, man. CD Lamb, I'm gonna just give you what I'm on. I took his receiving prop over 84.5 yards at minus 115. He has 12 catches for 200 yards, 2 TDs in 2 games versus the Falcons. He's 4-3, hitting the number that stands right now. He had 146 against the Niners, 89 against Detroit, 98 against the Giants, and 90 against the Saints. He's been performing well, actually, after the whole debacle, the media situation between him and Dak, or him getting the ball, whatever the case may be. It seems like he came back with a good attitude. So he's been performing after that, which shows good signs. Dallas passes the ball 66% of the time. He has 72 total targets so far, giving him a 26.8 targeted percentage. He gets targeted 12 times a game. That's what he's averaging. Atlanta ranks 19 when it comes to pass yards. 12 when it comes to receiving yards, and ranks 29 against pass completions. So I'm on that over 84.5 minus 115.
Locked and loaded. We move on to your second player prop. It comes in Orchard Park, New York, Highmark Stadium for Dolphins at Bills. We've already set this one up, so take it away.
Yeah, so I'm on Devon. Achan, but Devon over 4.5 receptions at minus 117. I don't believe Tua will be running the ball a lot. I could be wrong, but with his injury situation with concussion protocol or whatever the case may be, I do think he's going to play a little bit more safe going here on forward. Devon had 7 receptions last time he faced them. Buffalo ranks 30th when it comes to running back receptions, and I believe Taylor Rapp might play. I know he had full participation in practice from Wednesday through Friday, but they don't have him going or anything. They haven't said anything, but I do believe he's going to play. Yeah, full participation Wednesday through Friday. So with that being said, I do believe with that safety position, that makes the secondary better for Buffalo. So moving forward, Miami has Waddle and Ordell. You pick your poison, right? So you're going to have to go to Hill. Hill's the main guy. With Rapp back, I believe hopefully they'll limit Hill getting receptions, yards, whatever the case may be. So I do see a lot of short passes and checkdowns. So that's why I took Devon over 4.5 receptions at minus 117.
Devon Achan over 4.5 receptions, minus 117. Player prop number 2 for our guy JT, who's crushing it with us here, making his first season with us, and man, he's delivering. Let's move on to player prop number 3. Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Take it away.
Yeah, this one's I know a lot of people in the chat is going to be like, why would you run with this play? Maybe. I don't know, because there's a whole bunch of running backs that they use. The weather we know is going to be horrible. I believe it's 89% of rain that's going to come. I went with Montgomery over 6.5 receiving yards at minus 120. He is 50-50 when it comes to those receptions or receiving yards against Green Bay. He had 20 yards one game, and he had no yards versus Green Bay last year. Green Bay ranks 27th when it comes to receiving yards versus running backs. Montgomery's last 5, he's 3-2 versus the number that stands right now. He averages about 2 targets a game, 2 receptions a game, and 12 to 13 yards per receptions. And again, like I said, with the weather happening and the whole 9, I do believe he will get some touches. He will get those targets. And just with those 2 touches, hopefully he can get over that 6.5 reception yards. So that's what I took at 120.
Montgomery over 6.5 receiving yards, minus 120. Final
receiving
spot.
Yards,
yeah, receiving yards, minus 120. Final spot here on the board for JT is our Sunday nighter. Colts, Vikings. Looking for a Sunday night player prop. We got it right here. JT, take it away. Colts, Vikings.
So I ran with Michael Pittman. I took his over 53.5 receiving yards at minus 120. Minnesota gives up about 263 passing yards a game, 26 pass attempts, which Colts average about 30 pass attempts a game. So in that order, ranking 26 to 28 in that order. He has 14 catches for 97 yards in 2 games versus Minnesota. He had full participation in practice as well. He's on the roster. He's going to be playing. I know he had like a back injury or something like that, but he's a $70 million man. He signed that contract in March, so he's going to want to perform. And you got Joe Flacco at the helm. Joe Flacco likes to air the ball out. So yeah, Minnesota ranks 31 in receiving yards as well. So against receivers. So yeah, I took over 53.5 receiving yards at minus 120. Michael Pittman. Let's go.
We are locked in. Michael Pittman Jr. over 53.5 receiving yards, minus 120. David Montgomery over 6.5 receiving yards, minus 120. Devon HTown over 4.5 receptions at minus 117. And CeeDee Lamb over 84.5 receiving yards at minus 115 for our guy JT. 4-2 plus 1.63 units on their show, 8 out of 28. Please support our guy JT on X at Bet with JT. JT, thank you for making time for us, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy.
We love having you on the show. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Man, let's get this money, man. Good luck to everybody. And thank you, Jimmy, again, man.
Oh, our pleasure. There he is, JT in the house. We come to our final guest. He has been a big part of NFL Pub Hub. We're now in season 4 of NFL Pub Hub, and he hasn't made his season debut until now. Please welcome our friend Dave Rogers to the telecast. Dave, how are you, my man?
What's up, Jimmy? What's up, guys in the chat? It's good to be back.
It's nice to have you back, Dave. Nice to have you back. Dave, let's get started because we have a game here for you that we haven't talked about yet. New England Patriots 2-6, 1-3 on the road at the Tennessee Titans, 1-6, 0-3 at home. We're at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. 78 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 14 mile per hour winds. Drake May has cleared concussion protocol and he will be starting. We've heard it looks like Pollard will play because Tajay Spears is already being ruled out. And I don't think if you have money on the Titans, you want to see Julius Chestnut with 25 rush attempts. Will Levis is not returning. Mason Rudolph is at quarterback. Let's get into the line history here for your first spot on the board. Titans right now minus 3.5 at plus 101. Now plus 102. This was and you can still get the minus 3 juiced, or you can take them at 3.5 at plus money. So it depends how you want to handle the Titans. And for the total here in this one, we're sitting at a 38.5, slightly juiced to the under. This did open at 38 and it stayed at 38 until 9:57 this morning. So it just moved to the over this morning. I guess Drake May, being confirmed to go was part of it. Let's get to the cash flow. 65% of the tickets, but 49% of the cash on the Patriots. Titans have 35 and 51. And then you have 74% of the tickets and 62% of cash on the over. Take it away, Dave. Patriots, Titans.
Yeah, you said who you haven't talked about this game. Who wants to talk about this game? 2-6, 1-6. It's crap. But if you've seen me before, I like these games. This is where in all sports, this is where I live and find angles. Both teams are in the bottom 10 in offense and defense. That's basically, if you want to boil it down, scoring offense and scoring defense, awful. And they don't cover spreads. If you combine all their games, they're 3-11-1 against the spread. Just horrible, horrible shit. But what we're going to look at is the total here. If you're a trends person, if you combine all their games, 10-5-1 to the over, which is super surprising because neither of these teams average more than 17 points per game on offense. Like I said, they're crap. The games total is at 38.5. The Patriots have gone over half of their games, 4 out of 8, which isn't super convincing, but the Titans have gone over that number every game but one. And the expectation with teams with bad offenses is obviously that there'll be lower scoring performances. But let's say you put a unit or you bet to win a unit on the under in every game that they played, you'd be down 5 units. So why go against the trend? If you're not a trends person, I understand, but I am. I'm going to stick with what's working. I'm on the over. And Drake May with half a point. He's not even, give me a break. That's funny. But 38.5 is a number I got earlier. But I'm just surprised that it moved because of him, because he's garbage too.
You are locked in. I apologize if you are screaming in the background. My family has come back. They were
That's
gone
okay.
so that I could drink heavily for the horses. They are back and they're screaming and yelling. Patriots, Titans, we have the over. You're getting a lot of love in the chat, Dave. You were missed here by our colleagues and friends. Patriots, Titans, over 38.5 here to get started for our guy, Dave Rogers. Next up, Dolphins, Bills. A top set has made a career out of backing the Bills against his hometown Miami Dolphins. And he's sitting here wondering what no one's on the Bills? He's wondering why is no one on the Bills? Take it away. We've set this game up already. Dolphins, Bills.
Yeah, Tua without Tua 1-4, 10 points per game, but he's back and he's ready to go at least as far as his next concussion. He's going to have a short career. This is what happens. Stop drafting small quarterbacks, NFL teams. Stop doing it. There's too many problems in so many different ways. But they're already back to their scoring ways. We know all the weapons they have on their team. 27 points last week, even though they lost the game. And these two teams, when they play each other, they score a lot of points. 54 total points per game average their last 5 meetings. It's a shootout between these teams. That's what they do. And now with Tua back, he's ready to go. The Bills are 5th in the league in scoring offense. They almost score 30 points per game. And it's really unusual for me to be on so many overs, but I'm on the over in this one, 49. It actually dropped down half a point from where I got it. So I have a bad number, which is a good sign. When I get a bad number, I usually win.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
So let's get you that total over 49. Over 49 at minus 109 here for Dolphins, Bills. Over 49 minus 109. We move to our final game on today's show. Then we will review everybody's action. Chicago Bears at Arizona Cardinals. We've already set this one up. Just need to hear how you're getting paid. Dave, take it away.
Yeah, we're going with a prop. I've given out a few props on this. I'm not the prop guy. That's LJ. That's Sweaty Butcher. That's other people. But I got one in this one. This jumped off the page. Arizona has allowed the 5th most reception yards to TDs this season at 521. Going into Cole Kmet, who is the bet on the Bears, averages over 4 targets per game and 11.2 yards per catch. Do the math. If you can't do the math, you shouldn't be a handicapper. That should get us there easily. Also in games where he had more than one target, which is five of the 7 games he's played. For whatever reason, he only had one target in each game, probably the game script. But either way, in the games where he's there and getting targets, he's getting 5.6 targets, 5 receptions, and 11 yards per catch. And like I said, Arizona is not good against tight ends. So at 28.5 yards, what does he need? Three catches? That's it. I'm on the over, 28.5. Cole Kmet.
Over 28.5 receiving yards. What was the juice on that?
110, right in the dick.
Minus 110 for Dave Rogers. Cole Kmet over 28.5 receiving yards, over 49 in Dolphins, Bills, and over 38.5 in Patriots, Titans. Everybody asking, Dave, where can they find you? Where can they see you? What's going on? But it's great to have you back here with us. Where else can we find you?
Yeah, we've been putting in a lot of work. We have a little bit of group with guys that you guys know. It's called Top Tier Handicapping Network. We have YouTube and we have a Twitter. And I know a lot of people are starting stuff and all that, but we kind of fashioned our thing to kind of fit in our place. And it's all pre-recording right now. We're not doing lives. We're not trying to compete with all that. It's things that people can go and watch. And there's 6 best bets that are there for the game, which 10-minute video, and it's time-stamped on the bottom, so you can skip through it. Go check that out before the game start. We do that for college. We do free pick videos. But like I said, watch the live stuff here, watch everything here, but when you got time, watch the pre-recorded stuff over there, and that's how we kind of fashioned it. And it's with guys that you love anyways. LJ is one of them. So
beautiful. He is our leader in NFL Pub Hub.
Yeah, he is. He's kicking ass, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is. I love to see it. Dust 10 saying love top tier, solid picks. Top tier. So the YouTube channel is called Top Tier.
It's Top Tier Handicapping Network. Type that in. Top Tier, you'll get it. I mean, you know how that works. But Top Tier HN is the Twitter. So go follow us, go like us. You know, we're all trying to share in this together. And then I'm going to be I'm coming out of hiatus, so you'll be seeing me more on Pub with him and Dab and different places where they want me. So
I love it. And we have college basketball starting up, and I know it's the wheelhouse. It's great to have you back, Dave Rogers. Picks from Dave. Great to have you back in business, my man. Thank you for rocking with us. We'll get you back, get you on all these shows. Glad that you're out of hiatus. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show, my friend?
No, good luck, guys. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Jose, backstage, and let's get that money.
There he is, Dave Rogers. All right, we are 11 minutes till kickoff. Timing was perfect today. Let's go over action. Spenny Pennybombs, who is currently, I believe, do I have my records up here? I believe Spenny is currently 4th out of 28 cappers plus 3.85 units on the season. He is on Alvin Kamara over 65.5 rush yards and 75 plus and 100 plus. He's on DJ Moore over 57.5 receiving yards and 75 plus and a touchdown. AJ Brown over 75.5 receiving yards and 100 plus and a touchdown. He's on Kenneth Walker over 65.5 rush yards and 75 plus. He's also on Wan'Dale Robinson over 37.5 receiving yards and 50 plus. Then Justin McKelvey, Stacks play of the day is Cowboys plus 3, fading his hometown Falcons. And then number 2 is AJ Brown over 84.5 receiving yards at plus 104. That is the Stacks plays of the day.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Bobano is on the Chargers money line and the over 42 in Chargers Browns. He's on the Saints team total over 25.5. He's on the over 49 in Miami Buffalo. He is on the over 51 in Dallas Atlanta. He's on the Broncos plus 9.5 and the over 46 in Denver Baltimore. He's on the Rams money line and the over 47 at minus 120 in Rams Seahawks. He's on the Colts plus 6 and the over 46.5, and he's on the Raiders plus 8. That is Bobano's action. Birdie's on the Giants plus 4 and the Giants money line. He's on the Vikings minus 5, and his 7-point teasers at plus 130 are anchored by the Ravens and Chiefs. Ravens minus 2.5, Chiefs minus 2. One's with the Bears plus 8, and one's with the Browns plus 8. Those are the 7-point teasers at plus 130. 3-team 7-point teasers. He's also on the Green Bay Detroit under 48 at minus 109. And then we have Ramone Scott, Chargers Browns under 42 at plus 101. He's on Raiders Bengals over 45 at minus 106, and he's on the Jaguars Eagles over 45.5 at minus 114. Then we have over 51.5 in Cowboys Falcons. We have Ravens minus 8.5 and the over 46.5 in Broncos Ravens. Sorry, did I say? Yeah, I did that right. Then we have the Rams money line and the under 48 in Detroit Green Bay Packers. LJ's on Daniels over 4. LJ, our number one performer this year in NFL pub out of 28. Jaden Daniels over 49.5 rush yards. Siebert over 1.5 field goals and the under 44.5 in Washington, New York Giants. He's on the Bears plus 2 and the under 45. He's on the Cardinals team total under 22.5. Swift over 66.5 rush yards and Swift touchdown. Bears to win at plus 209. And then he's on the Rams money line, and he's on Kyron Williams over 91.5 rush yards at minus 118 and over 102 at plus 120. He's also on Rams to win and Williams anytime touchdown at plus 127. He gave us a 3-player parlay for anytime touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, together at plus 575. Sweaty Butcher is on Washington, New York Giants under 44.5 and the Surf and Turf parlay. Ertz over 3.5 receptions and Gibbs over 65.5 rush yards. Then he's on the Lions team total over 25.5 at plus 116. That is the prime cut. And then he closes up shop with the Rams money line and Chargers Cleveland under 42.5. JT gave a CeeDee Lamb over 84.5 receiving yards. Devon Achane over 4.5 receptions. David Montgomery over 6.5 receiving yards. And Michael Pittman Jr. over 53.5 receiving yards. And then Dave Rogers just gave us the over 38.5 in Patriots Titans, the over 49 in Miami Buffalo, and Cole Kmet over 28.5 receiving yards. That is our show for today. All that's left is for our bankrolls to grow. Shout out to all you guys joining us. We have nothing without you. Lamont Williams, Gerald Jones, the truth worker, a truth teller. Sorry, still a little delirious from the weekend. Aaron Gaza, AOD, Brad Oliver, Lexicon, Justin McKelvey. There's our guy JT in the house. A Gamble Stein, Dust 10, Voodoo Ranger, Nilo in the house. Guillermo Zertucci, our guy Guillermo. Have a great weekend with Elijah in town. Drewski, Nasty Nate, Joseph Alvarado, Top Set, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, go get that parlay. I know you're looking at $1,100 right there. Go get it. One leg left. Cam Raphael, James H., the Sweaty Butcher, What a great group. Kevin Garrett, thank you. Abel Alvarez, Clan 777, Sancho, Cliff Yang. Thank you, guys. Abra, Cat, Dadbra. Thank you. Jim Dewigger, Jeff Arp. Thank you, guys. Jermaine, 66 Slammy, Nordy. Thank you, guys. Well, it is time. We are 6 minutes away from kickoff. Thank you for rocking with us. We're right here every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Every single pick is tracked, so you'll get complete transparency. And we ride together. So let's go out there and get paid. Thank you to our producer, Jose Bouquet, who works tirelessly behind the scenes. Jose, thank you for all your hard work. And catch us on our Sunday night live stream tonight. A banger in Colts, Vikings. And then on Monday, we have Chiefs, Buccaneers. It's all going off right here on Pub Sports Radio. Don't forget, Monday morning, Medicate Monday with our guys, Dabby, Cab, and Dutch Boy Fresh. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, Jeff Slaughter, and us all, we thank you so much for your support. Now let's go out there and get that cash. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers.